first of all, Windmills Craftworks, incredibly popular throughout Bangalore for 12 years now. There's Uta's which focuses on Karnataka cuisine. You're opening up a branch in Hyderabad. You have Windmills Craftworks, which also has a branch in Dallas, Texas. Overall, you are very well versed in the culinary scene. So, first question I wanted to get out of the way is, what got you into cooking?
It's a heavily loaded question, actually, and it begs philosophical thinking at some points. But I think I was just genuinely interested in food right from the beginning. As a kid, I used to potter around the kitchen. I used to be around my mom. I was interested in the idea of eating food,
Right.
not making it so much. And then, well, my career path is pretty well known in the industry. I'm here completely by chance. This was not a profession that I chose on my own, because given the choice, I would have rather been in the army or the air force or one of the defense forces, just like my entire family was.
Right.
So I happened to be a chef purely by chance. So once I did my hotel management in Delhi, you go through different departments of the hotel, and this is the one which I automatically sort of got attracted towards, given my liking for food. So yeah, that's how I'm here.
All right, perfect. You also, there's many examples. You go to different areas, you check the local cuisine, local food, and you incorporate that into your menus, and overall just get a greater understanding. So clearly, you understand that food and culture are intrinsically linked in some way.
Absolutely.
So just elaborate on that. What role do you think that food has in spreading culture?
Well, so to me, I think food is a part of a culture, right? Just like there are traditions, there are festivals, there's clothes, there's what else? Music. Thank you. So similarly, food, I think, tells you more about a culture over a period of time.
Right.
However, the interesting thing about food is that if it's kept alive for a longer time, you get to deep dive and see where that culture was, what
Right.
it did. At the same time, food also has this beautiful quality of evolving with time, and many times a certain dish can evolve over a period of time or over a geographic location, and that can tell you more about the people who used to eat it and how they sort of moved, and it tells you all the details about how these cultures migrated, moved from one place to another,
Right.
and all those stories come out when you have their food.
All right. So thank you so much for that. For your personal cultural background, considering, as you just mentioned, the intrinsic link between food and culture, how would you say your cultural background comes out when you run your business?
So my cultural background, so typically I am from Belgaum, which is sort of the north of Karnataka, close to Goa, and I grew up eating Konkani food. That was in the homes of my grandparents and my family, extended family over there. However, my dad was in the army, so we moved around the country
Right.
to many places. So very early in my younger days, I got exposed to different kinds of cuisines from different parts of the country,
Right.
and I found that adapting to that was a lot easier than being strict about eating only what you were born and brought up with.
Right.
So towards the time that I joined college and started working in the industry, I think I already had a fairly open mind about trying different types of food and understanding them for their value.
I see.
So when I use that as as a barometer when we are working, it just makes it that much more easier for me to accept another type of food or a culture, and also it helps me understand that food a lot better.
Okay. So perfect in that case. For now, you
That,
have.
I think, in some ways leads directly into what you're trying to prove, right? Exposure to different kinds of food opens your mind out
Yes.
to
So regarding that,
culture.
you use a lot of examples of fusion food in your menus. So a particular example could be like masala onion rings, or basically combining two separate flavors and the means of a food from different areas. So have you seen examples where your food has brought together people from different cultural backgrounds? Like somebody who would only be brought up with one particular kind of food gets exposed and appreciates others from different areas because of your food?
I would answer that in a different way. So you're familiar with the restaurant that we do upstairs, which is Uta,
Yes.
which does the cuisine of the state of Karnataka.
Mm.
I think to begin with, it was a great idea to just bring together all the micro cultures of a state under one roof, and therefore create a showcase for the state.
I see.
Now, here's the interesting bit. Anybody who travels to the state, and usually I would say it is foreigners, and by foreigners I mean people who are not exposed to Karnataka culture,
Right.
when they come to your place, when they come to your city, the first thing they want to know is where can we get authentic food, not only from Bangalore but from the state. Like where can we taste this? And more often than not, a whole bunch of the corporates bring their people from overseas and from outside of Karnataka to the restaurant here to get that taste and sample the culture through the food.
Right.
So if you're saying that does food bring different cultures together, most certainly it does, because there is that curiosity that people carry with them, and there is that eagerness to understand and learn something, which brings them to our restaurant.
Are
So
there
in that sense, yeah, we create that connect. So for the longest time, I've been a great fan of Japanese food. By training and by working, I've worked for about 15 years, 20 years, even more I think, in doing Italian restaurants. And even at the time that I was training in Italy, I had a whole bunch of Japanese students who were my colleagues
right.
in the institute. So I found that the Japanese were also genuinely interested in Italian cuisine. At the same time, the Italians got a glimpse of their culture. That's where my interest in Japanese food started. Unfortunately, I've not had that kind of an exposure where I can cook Japanese, but given a chance, yeah, that is one culture I would love to explore.
All right.
What do you think about this whole concept of what Aditya is doing, wherein he is trying to have food as a medium of bringing different cultures together? How effective do you think it is? And what do you think about the concept of at a younger age you expose kids at a younger age, like your example, which is very, very true, that
Yeah.
you travel out, you eat different things, your mind opens up to different things.
Yeah.
So just wanted to understand, what is your take on doing a project like this that he's trying to do?
See, I think on a very base level, this idea is it has genius in it. For the simple reason that food is a very basic part of your existence. Unlike, say, music or dance or something else, which you literally need to learn over a period of time. So, you need practice and learning. Food is practiced every day. You're eating every single day. Now, all you need to do is open a door and say, hey, I'm going to eat something else. I'm going to try something else. I want to see how this guy eats. I want to see what makes him happy versus what makes me happy. Maybe we can exchange those ideas. So I think it's a very rudimentary part of our existence through which we can connect. And depending on how beautifully you can make that happen, the idea is a very powerful one.
Perfect. So